So I wanted to please encourage people to go to my YouTube channel, April Waters with two T's. Please donate. There's a link to make a donation to keep this radio show going. It's not easy, and everything takes funding, everything takes money and support to keep real, true media, not like the New York Post, in business. And so the next guest, who I just interviewed earlier today at around 1 o'clock this afternoon, is the aunt of Akai Gurley, who was murdered last November the 20th at the Pink Houses. And he was just going down the stairwell in his building when he was shot and killed by Officer Liang. Okay, today is Tuesday, October the 27th. Doing a recorded interview with Hortensia Peterson, the aunt of Akai Gurley. She was part of Rise Up October this past weekend, events Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Thursday was an event at Times Square. Friday there was an action at Rikers Island. And then Saturday was the big march starting at the rally at Washington Square Park, in which you spoke there also. Thank you for being able to share. I wanted to speak with you because I really liked what you said. You were talking about, your sister and how she's going to be, this is going to be with her, like, for the rest of her life. Can you just talk a little bit about, what you shared about what your family is going through?
Okay, what I've been sharing is the pain of what family members of police brutality goes through on a daily basis. With my nephew's case, we have been so devastated, especially for my sister's surrogate mama. Akai and her had a special relationship, and it's just the bond that a mother and a son has. Theirs was very unique, and my sister has a hold in her heart, a hold that can never be filled, nothing can ever replace that. Sometimes, her main question is, why did the officer not help her son?
Right.
Why did he not stop to help? And it's a question that all mothers, all family members ask of these police officers. Why couldn't you help? Or why do you have to use excessive force in the manner in which they did? Unfortunately, my nephew did nothing wrong. The police commissioner and also the mayor said that he was innocent in this case, and to date, that's all they said. He was innocent. But as far as actually coming and speaking or, anything else, they haven't yet to make a statement to the mother.
And I mean, it was really, just a, blatant wrongdoing on the part of the cop, because your nephew was just taking the stairway because the elevator did not come.
Correct.
And this Officer Peter Liang, he wasn't even really supposed to be there.
Exactly. He violated, disobeyed orders from his superiors. Him and his partner, Sean Landau. And let me make this clear. Sean Landau, his partner, was given full immunity. He's just as guilty as Peter Liang because he was in that stairwell. He knew what they were doing was wrong. He knew the manner in which you're going to open up a door with a gun in your hand, your finger on the trigger. Along with that, you're in a dark stairwell. Now, why on earth are you going into a dark stairwell and with your finger on the trigger, your gun is out of the holster. So why would you do that? Not thinking that, okay, a child could be walking down the steps, an elderly, why? Had they not disobeyed their superiors, my nephew would be alive today. So yes, it is a tragedy where when you are disobedient, and my nephew unfortunately had to be the one to lose his life. But enough is enough. The excuses that they're given, it was a dimly lit stairwell. Okay, if you knew it was a dimly lit stairwell, why haven't NYCHA fixed the problem? Why was the elevator not working? It's a problem in these New York City housing developments. Okay, so many tenants complain, they haven't done anything. But yet it had to take for Akai Gurley to lose his life, for them to change the lights, to fix the elevators.
Yeah. And so what has been the response? What kind, or, I was going to say, what kind of justice have you been getting? But clearly, the answer to that question, is clear. What have they offered?
They have been offered.
We just killed your nephew and that's it.
And that's it. Wrong place, wrong time. It was an accident. My thing is, if it's an accident, okay, if you either make yourself accountable or you will be made accountable by your circumstances. In this case, freedom is not the same as lack of accountability, meaning that Peter Liang must be held accountable. I am sick and disgusted with this judiciary system where it is that his partner, who is also to blame, who also has Akai's blood on his hand, has been given full immunity. The system sucks. The system does not work for us.
And so the Peter Liang was a rookie cop.
Both of them were rookies. Both, yes.
And
both was rookies.
And after he shot your nephew, he was texting his union rep.
Correct. He texted his union rep. Why, I don't know. Himself and his partner was arguing back and forth whose cell phones should they use to call the shooting in to their superiors. Not one of them did that. It had to take the young lady that was with him to go and knock on a tenant's door to call the ambulance. On top of that, while they're calling the ambulance, she's applying pressure to his wound.
Yeah.
Now, if you are fresh out of the academy and these are scenarios that you were given, why aren't you administering some type of aid to the man that you accidentally shot? You know what that's telling me? His life was not valuable. His life is not worth saving. Why? Because he's a black man. And it's not worth it. That's what that's telling me. That's my personal belief. But until Black Lives Matter, nobody lives matter.
Can you, at Brooklyn by Cadman Plaza by the Korean War Memorial on, that was on Thursday for Rise Up October, there were a lot of officers surrounding that area, already with their zip ties and everything. And, you had the bullhorn and you were able to kind of, address them directly.
You know why I addressed that? Because to them, it's a joke. There was X amount of family members from across the country telling us how their loved ones was murdered. And as they're speaking, I'm looking at these officers. They're smirking, they're on their cell phone, they're talking, they're very disrespectful, as if it doesn't affect them, it doesn't matter. joke. It's a laughing matter. You guys don't care. And that's wrong. It is wrong.
It's not
They
even.
don't understand. They don't understand the effect of the damage that it has on the families, the mothers, the children. What if it was their loved ones? How would they feel? They don't understand until it comes to their doors.
It's like they're not even trying to hide it.
Exactly. They're just blatantly disrespectful with it.
Like they're, I mean, like it's just becoming, completely out in the open what policing, is about.
Mm-hmm.
And that it's clearly not about protecting
It's not about serving and protect. I have to program in my mind, if you want to be a legalized murderer, sign up for the police department. You'll be protected. You'll be covered. You will not be held accountable to murdering a Black, a Latino, a Asian. You are covered if you want to be a murderer. And that's just what NYPD and all police departments nationwide. This is a systematic problem. This is an issue, the effects it has on their mother. Look at Freddie Gray's mom over the weekend. She tried to commit suicide.
Oh, she did.
Come on. Don't they see what's going on? We see it because it's our loved ones. It's our family members. It's not theirs. They don't care. And the officers only portray their leaders. So the mentality of their leader is what the mentality of the officers are showing the public. But then when it's one of their own, everything has to stop. Nobody's supposed to protest, nobody's supposed to speak because it's one of the officers. Yes, they said there's good, they said there's bad officers. Well, the way how I see it, you're an officer, and if you have a conscience and feeling, and if you have sympathy and empathy on other human lives, and you're seeing your partner abusing or brutalizing an inmate or someone that is arrested, someone should say, stop it, it's not right what you're doing, but they're not doing that. So therefore, in my eyes, there's no such thing as a good officer because they cover up for each other. They cover up for their partners until I see an officer, not just one, step up to the plate. Then maybe my views will change, but I don't see it happening, especially in NYPD.
It says in this Daily News article that a commander was furious after the shooting raging. I told them not to do verticals. And a vertical is what? Like just scanning the...
Going from the upper floors, checking to make sure no one is in the stairwell doing anything illegal or whatever. So, had they not done that, and you see, like you're seeing this in the Daily News, but no one is saying it to the families. No one. It's like they make they have their meetings, they discuss situations with issues, and it's for them only. The public is not privy to it. That commanding officer, I've yet to see his face. I've yet to hear an apology from their commanding officer. His mother has yet to hear an apology.
Something so simple.
If it was an accident, all you had to do, man up and said, you know what? Boom, and forget about putting them on death duty. You fired them. You fired them.
Right.
Suspend them.
And it says...
Suspend them.
It says the bullet ricocheted.
Yes, it did. It ricocheted.
Like...
and it damaged every major organ in Akai's body. Had Akai lived, Akai would have been a vegetable. So either way you put it, it's wrong.
And this happened last year.
November 20th of 2014. We're coming up to his 1-year anniversary, November 24th this year, next month. be doing a rally in the Pink House, marching from the Pink House to the 75th to PSA 2 and back to Pink House. Any information you need is on there. Justice for Akai Gurley family page. This is, I'm still in shock. I'm still in a daze half of the time.
It is hard. It's hard to wrap your head around that it's so out in the open.
Exactly. You're right. And like I said, the mayor, the governor, the police commissioner, it's like, well, we have to do this. What are you doing for the public, for the urban community? You guys are coming in there. You're having these officers that's coming in. They don't know anything about the community. They don't have a relationship with anyone in the community. And if something goes out, they use an excessive force. Whenever you use excessive force, it's two things that can end up. You either end up in jail or dead. 9 times out of 10, you end up in a body bag whenever NYPD is involved. If I need service, I refuse to ever call the police department.
And what the public also needs to realize that I don't think gets spoken about enough is a quota system, and that policing is for profit, literally.
Yes,
it's a business. It's a business.
Urban areas, it's the profiting for everything. You're writing tickets. You have these quotas that you have to arrest X amount of persons whether at the end or the beginning of the month. Then there's an issue with the homelessness. It's despicable. This whole system is despicable.
Yeah. Well, I want to, is just one last question. Are you in the process of suing? Do you have a lawyer to?
Well, that's going to come on there. I'm not right now. I'm not privy to that. Don't want to keep that information.
Okay. Well, I hope you do, and your sister get the justice that you deserve. And I hope our justice will be for Peter Liang, just been 15 years or more in jail behind bars where he belongs, because he is a murderer. See, and then he's walking free. He's out here. He should be in prison. My nephew is 6 feet deep. My nephew left a daughter. You understand? Yeah. At that time, his daughter was only 2 years old. She had her very first birthday without her father. Is that fair to the child? No, it's not fair. Is that fair to the family? No, it's not fair. Is that fair at all? No. But then it's okay. It's okay. They've seen it. And to me, I think that people of color have an invisible bullseye on the back of our back, where we don't see it, but the police officers do see it. Right. They disrespect you, they talk to you any which way they want, and when you let them know that you know your rights, they get highly upset. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know that feeling. So is there anything else you would like to share? I just want the listeners to know that, to keep us in prayer. Also, it's a struggle that we're all in. Don't turn your back. Don't close your doors. Don't pretend you have deaf ears when you see something that's going on. Speak up. It is our right. It is your right to question. Why are you being detained? Why am I being arrested? Why are you harassing this individual? And continue filming, because eventually, even with their body cam, they have the option of turning it off and they make up lies and say, oh, it doesn't work, or blah, blah, blah. No, you see something, you record it. You speak up about it. Don't say you don't want to be involved, because you never know when the next hashtag will be your loved ones. That's right. thank you so much, Hortensia Peterson, the aunt of Akai Gurley, who was shot in the Pink Houses last November 20th. The first anniversary is coming up. And so on that day, November 20th of, in actually like a couple of weeks, you're going to be having an action over by the Pink Houses?
Yes, we are. We're having, in the process of planning a rally, a candlelight vigil and everything. But like I said, you can always go on to Justice for Akai Gurley family page, and information is already up on the page.
Thank you so much, Hortensia Peterson.
You're welcome, and thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, the next thing I wanted to play just before my next guest in 3 minutes is Hortensia in Brooklyn on Thursday addressing all the NYPD officers that were surrounding the Korean War Memorial.
This next speaker we have coming up is Akai Gurley's aunt, and her name is Hortensia Peterson. Please welcome her.
Can you guys do me a favor to separate? I want them to see my face. This is the face of Akai Gurley, of the nephew, the son, the father that you guys murdered. Every last one of you are responsible for the murder of Akai Gurley and everyone else that's standing here today. Yes, you are murderers. You kill because you think you're God, but guess what? You're not God. And this is to all the mothers, all the families that's here today. You stole my child. You hope I would go away. You underestimated my love. I will never give up. I will be a voice for my child. I am not alone, as you can see. There are many like me. By circumstances united. Together we will be heard. We will not, and I repeat, we will not stop fighting. Enough is enough. We are sick and tired of being sick and tired of you guys playing God, thinking it's okay. Where is the accountability? There's none. What if it was your child, your son, your daughter, your nephew? What would you do? Guess what? There's a higher God. And I serve the God that created you. I serve the God that he said justice and vengeance is his. And when I tell you, I trust, rely, and believe that his word will prevail. It may not be tomorrow, it might not be today, but down the line, you will feel our pain. You will suffer, and we're suffering. You will cry, and guess what? No one's going to be there, because you took an innocent life, walking down the stairs, minding his own business. You murdered a son. You took a son from the daughter. You took a son from the mother. You took a son from a family. But guess what? You thought we were buried. You thought that we would go away and slither. But it is not over. So God said it's over. And you can look at me because I want you to see my face. Because when you see my face, you're going to say Akai Gurley. You're going to say Eric Gardner. You're going to say Chantel Davis. You're going to say Tamir Rice. You're going to say Malcolm Ferguson. No matter how many names you have, you recognizing your dreams. You guys are a war of corrupted, you're heinous, you're prejudiced, but guess what? Genocide is not an accident. It is not. You think because you buried us, you think because we shed tears, the more you care of us, the more we're coming back. You're going to realize and recognize this stops when you guys are held accountable. This stops when you are able to go to jail like you dehumanize our sons. Yes. Like how you murder our sons. I am here today in proxy of my sister, Sylvia Palmer. Remember that name. Let it marinate in your brains. Guess what? It's not over. And it is not going to be over. Because we are your worst nightmares. So enjoy your salary on us. Because if we don't get no justice, what do we want? Justice. What do we want? Justice.
Okay, that's there's about 2 minutes left of that video. It's on YouTube. Hortensia Peterson telling it like it is to NYPD. And for my next guest, Cadine Williams, who was also part of Rise Up October.
Hello?
Oh, hi. Cadine Williams, please.
Who?
Cadine Williams. Did I dial the wrong number?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so sorry. Yeah, I did. I got the last two numbers reversed. Okay, let me try it again. Right, I inverted the last two numbers. Okay, here we go.
Hello?
Cadine?
Yes.
Hi, thank you for joining us on Organic News on Awake Radio.
No problem. Anytime.
So you were part of Rise Up October this past weekend on Thursday. They had an action on Friday at Rikers Island. I couldn't make that one. And then also
Yes.
the march on Saturday. And I asked you to be on because I really was so, I wanted to just thank you for your passion and your anger because, I mean, we literally, live in a society now where unless you have money or power, people think you don't have feelings.
Right.
Or you're,
right.
You're not into, you don't have pain that needs to be expressed. So can you just talk a bit about what happened to your brother?
But like I always say, yes, black people get killed more than others, but it's not only it's not only black people struggle, it's poor people, period.
Right.
Because, they act like if you're poor, it's a crime, and it's not a crime, Some are just able to do more than others. But get back to my brother, O'Shane Evans. He was killed on October 7, 2014 by San Francisco, California police, while he was sitting in his mother's car. They claimed he pulled an unloaded gun on them. First their story was that he had a shootout, and then the next story was, the gun was in his hand. The next story was, he pulled it on me, so I had to shoot him. Officers shot him over 7 times, and he only shot him once, but when we went to look at the body, he had bullets in his head and heart, his side, his stomach, it was shot up, basically.
And so you don't, know exactly what happened, do you?
Well, I wasn't there, but his friends were there. He had 2 friends were there. The officers claimed that they watched his friends break into a car, into an SUV, and took someone's laptop and ran back to O'Shane's car. And the friends were like, yeah, they did do that, but no one had a gun. Where did the gun come from?
Right.
So, I don't know. I don't know where that gun came from. I don't believe my brother had a gun. I really don't believe he had a gun. Because here's the same guy you were talking about that 2 weeks before was stopped by an officer in a different city. And, my mom had to go get him because he was driving on suspended license. And she was telling him, how well behaved he was, how mannerly he was. And then only to find out 2 weeks later that officer saying, he put an unloaded gun on me. It just doesn't make sense. And he's a man that knows when he gets in contact with the police. If he gets in contact with the police, how to behave, what to do, And we see this every day. This is not new to us. We see this every day in our city. So it would be suicidal for him to pull a gun on an officer.
Exactly. And so he was from Jamaica, and he came here training.
Yeah, he was from Jamaica 22 years ago. Yeah.
He was training to be a boxer.
Yes, he was. And he wanted to become a paramedic. So, yeah. That was so shame. So, what they're saying, I just don't believe it. And then the next day where they killed him, they dug up the whole pavement, They dug up the whole pavement, redid the pavement, and they were hiding evidence. Also, they never notified his mother. The coroners notified his mother. And then they lied and said that my mother identified the body, which she never got a chance to identify the body. She didn't see him until 2 weeks later at the funeral home. So, if you feel like it was justified, what are you hiding? Why did you redo the pavement? Why not notify his parents? You know who he was. You said you knew who he was, and he also said that also when they killed him, my mom was calling his phone and said, "Mom," when on the caller ID it said, "Mom." And they never answered it, but they called his friends. After they killed him, they were calling O'Shane's friends on his phone, investigating his friends.
Yeah, I mean, taking up the whole sidewalk, that seems a little extreme.
It is. I couldn't believe it. The next morning, they killed him at 9:32 a.m. on a Tuesday, on the 7th, and on the 8th, around 8 or 9 in the morning a.m., they were redoing the pavement.
Yeah, that would say that sounds pretty suspicious.
I mean, if you feel like it was justified, what are you hiding? And then this officer that killed him was a plainclothes officer, which we have a lot of that going on in San Francisco. And after my brother, is 3 more incidents where a plainclothes officer killed 3 civilians. Yeah, so
when you were
it's a struggle.
Where do things stand now?
What do you mean?
I mean,
as far as with O'Shane case?
Right. Is there any progress?
Well, we're filing a wrongful death lawsuit against the city.
And how is that going?
Well, we'll know next month. We'll know by next month, what's going to happen. We just basically let the lawyers deal with it. We just really, stand with the family and fight, and just stand for what's right. I don't too worry about that part,
What was
I let the lawyers take care of that.
What was your experience like coming here to New York and having, people like Quentin Tarantino marching with the families?
It was beautiful. And from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate him, standing up and saying, no more, enough is enough. And we need more people like him out there. And now they're talking about boycotting his movie.
Right.
That's bull. I mean, that's crazy because he stood up for something that's right. Now they should boycott his movie, which I don't think is going to go through because people love it. I mean, I love his movies. I mean, people love his movies, period. And I'm just grateful that someone like him stood side to side with us, and said no more. And we need more people like him. And people need to stop, like I said, people need to stop being so comfortable, and fight for not only what's going on here in America, but abroad, Bring those soldiers back from Afghanistan. Bring all those soldiers back from abroad. What are they doing there, Those you over there messing with because of greed, because of money. You want because of oil. You want something that doesn't belong to you, and that's why innocent people are losing their life. You know, and like I said about the whole 9/11 thing, people need to really open their eyes. Like, I don't feel like Bin Laden had anything to do with 9/11. That was all part of Bush's plan. Mm-hmm. You know, that was all Bush. I believe deeply that was all Bush, and he made a mess. And he started this big war. And all these soldiers that's going out there need to know that why isn't these governments going over there fighting with them side to side? You know, these governments, if they feel like they're so right, go out there and fight side to side. You're having people that's losing their sons and daughters fighting for this country. Fighting for what? What are you fighting for? Right. You know, that's not your war.
They're fighting to keep the rich rich and the poor poor.
Right, exactly. And but you know what? You'll think that they'll learn after, because after you become an ex-vet, right? When you become a veteran and you're out there in the street, you get no help. You see how they treat these veterans out here. You get no help. When you come back to America, you know, after a war, right, from losing a limb or something, there's no help. How many homeless veterans do you pass by on the streets every day? You know, people should learn from that. People just need to open their eyes and wake up. It's time. You know, it's been going on for too long. And it's time for us to get up and stand up. You know, fight back against the system. Fight the system. Stand up for what you believe in.
Exactly. So,
period.
Yeah, at the rally at Washington Square Park, you know, again, like you got really like upset. I mean, like I think there was something to do with like time issues or not having like time for certain people to
you know,
tell them
a lot of this. And, you know, some people have their intentions. When they come out there standing beside us, because they're standing with us doesn't mean that they're with us. They're with us. You know, people are looking for publicity, and people are looking to start getting into politics and all that. So, you know, they use us. A lot of these people use us. And I've seen it over and over. You know, you use my pain to get to where you're trying to go, and that's not right. It's not about you. It's about these families that's out there trying to get their stories out there. You know, and like, if you're not Michael Brown, Eric Gardner, Trayvon Martin, no one knows about your story. You know, people think that's only like Tamir Rice, that's only the people that it happened to. But it's Ferguson, New York, it's all over. It's going all over in this country. It's all over. And people need to stop doing this, stop playing on these families' emotions, and that's because that's not right. And that's what made me upset.
Yeah. You know, it's I'm trying to remember. She was wearing a T-shirt that said Tyrone West on it, and she was also expressing, you know, just a lot of emotion and, you know, like feeling alone, like feeling hopeless and powerless until, you know, the rally, and then there's like all these other people that this is happening to.
Yeah, that's when you realize you're not by yourself. You're not by yourself. And, you know, I just want these families to know that they're not by themselves. You know, mothers, sisters, brothers, dad, fathers, that you're not by yourself. There's people all over the world that's going through this. And, like, I'm trying to get people to understand that, you know, we might have lost one loved one, but you have the woman in the Middle East or somewhere that lost her whole family.
Yeah.
You know? Lost her whole family, and then don't know when can't hide because people are dropping bombs on their houses and shooting them down, you know. So we're not alone. And it's people that's going through worse than what we're going through.
Yeah.
So when we fight, we not only fight for our loved ones, we need to fight for the world. Fight for right and justice, exactly. You know?
I feel like the police and the military are like so similar because they are training, you know, like the NYPD actually has an office in Tel Aviv. I mean, they're being trained by the Israeli Defense Forces. I mean, they're seriously like looking to militarize the police over here and then just, you know, start doing to Americans what they're doing to the Afghans.
Yes, that's exactly what they're doing. Exactly what they're doing.
I mean,
and why do you need all that training to deal with a civilian? I mean, why do you need all that excessive force? You know, we have a system that says it's okay and that backs them.
They want to, they call, you know, people protesting for their rights terrorists. I mean, that
Yeah.
ought to scare the freaking living shit out of every single American. Like
Right.
that ought to make like every American come out and just raging in the street to be hearing people protesting for, you know, for their rightful share, their valid, you know, cause, and to be called terrorists by their own country.
Right.
That should send chills up every spine of everyone in this country.
Well, people are just comfortable with it. Like, yes. You should have backpack. People are comfortable with it, so you know, I don't see how you can be so comfortable with what's going on. But like I say, it could be today, tomorrow. You never know who it's going to be, you know. And then wait till they come knocking at your door before you get up and fight back.
So what are you gonna do? You know, from now on, like, what is like, you know, you're gonna be like keeping in touch with a lot of the families that you met over here.
Oh, definitely. And also, we're gonna try to plan something. You know, we're gonna try to go to those towns that people don't hear about a lot. People don't hear about, and try to help them. Get their story out there.
Yeah.
And be more supportive to other families.
Right.
Whenever we can.
And there's a website for your brother.
Yes, Justice for Shane Evans.
So
it's also it's a Facebook page. It's also a website.
I'm just gonna spell his name. It's O apostrophe Shane SHAINE Evans EVANS.
EVANS. Yes, correct.
O'Shane Evans.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Cadine Williams, for your passion and your venting.
Well, thank you for having me. Thank you for helping me to get the story out there. And hopefully it will open people's eyes and open their hearts, and more people will come out next time we do this. And more people will come out and stand up, and fight back. Like I say, you can't just sit there and be comfortable with what's going on. It's not right.
If this system continues on the path that it's been on, all we can expect is more destruction, more violence, more killing, more imprisonment, and all for profit of the people at the top. And
that money, that mighty dollar, is that mighty dollar.
Yeah, but they don't need it.
That's what it's all about.
I mean, they don't need it. They already have
greed. It's just greed.
They're mentally deranged, and they need to be in straitjackets in rubber rooms.
Right, I agree.
I mean,
I definitely agree.
The signs and symptoms of sociopath don't get any clearer.
Yes.
Okay, Cadine, I hope I meet you again someday.
Okay, hopefully soon. You take care.
Okay, have a great night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay, again, the website is for O'Shane Evans, O apostrophe SHAINE, Evans, EVANS. December 7th, San Francisco, California. And again, I would like to encourage people to go to my YouTube channel, April Waters with double T. Please donate to help me keep this radio show going and my YouTube channel. Don't wait for it to be too late. Stand up and fight. It's getting more and more clear. The more you choose the paycheck over justice, the more you're adding to a world that is just going to be riddled with destruction, war, and environmental devastation. So again, I'm going to be ending a few minutes early, about 10 minutes early. So keep fighting the good fight. Good night.